What do you have, Lieutenant Dan?
Lieutenant Dan. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning,
Dan.
whatever the case may be. All right, so I've got my green screen on. No, it's time. It's time. Time for the wine, Dennis. Welcome. I mean, I could just go lay in bed, watch TV. Except my wife is like asleep in bed, all right. So I don't want to go put on a show and drink my wine until it's sleepy time. But I'm here. So what I was working on today is one of the MAGAnificent 7 covers.
Did you find one?
I'm doing it for real on actual paper. So this will be the first MAGA original piece that I've done on paper. So I don't know that I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to do it in brush. Look at this. My green screen is just like,
yeah, that'll be good.
The Enterprise is back there somewhere. Is that just weird to anybody else? Sleep with your missus or get drunk with nerds? Tough choices. Well, no, I have doctor's orders. I don't want to be drinking while I'm drawing. I mean, I guess I could. Doesn't make much difference, but yeah, I probably should have been drinking this while I was drawing. But I was just listening to Geeks and Gamers and chilling. So whatever. Let's see. Like, share. Man, Twitter, is it me? Have I muted everybody on Twitter to the point where it's just dead? Have I? There's nobody arguing or anything. Everything just seems quiet and dead. Count your blessings, right? Put the deflated bridge away.
Okay. Start up there again.
All right, hold on a second.
Can you put down the water candle inside one of these houses?
Green screen. And I apologize. You'll be hearing my son in the background, even though it's 1 o'clock in the morning and he should be going to bed now. He doesn't respond, but I know he heard me. Sup, Sensei? Twitter notifications always on time. People are bickering. You're better off ignoring it all. Comic Book Butt blocked me today for saying I was heckling him. He is also mad at you, Mike. Comic Book Hut is mad at me? For what? What did I do? I'm always amused when these people that I don't even know are mad at me. So, whatever. Bunch of.
So we just gotta wait for a truffle worm to spawn. So
It's just hilarious. Like those SWC guys too. Hey, Quinn's here. I shall send Quinn the link. I don't think I'm going to be on all night long or anything, but he probably has some updates on the Democratic field for us. So let's see. Oh, what the hell? I'll send it to Green Hand too. She's probably not going to be popping in, but what the hell?
Really?
After blocking a bunch of war campaigners, Twitter is so much quieter. Right? Yeah, so what happened today? I got up late. So that's nothing unusual. And then Quinn was here.
Hey.
And that was it. That's all that happened today. What's
Hey,
up, brother?
Nothing much.
I caught the last minute of your stream. I was like out driving my son around.
Yeah.
Or all over. I had to drive all over to Point Loma and then down to Chula Vista, picking up my daughter, picking up my son, and then it's like 2 hours of driving all over San Diego, picking up my kids. I was like,
I'm gonna be flying to Chicago in about 3 hours.
oh no.
Yeah, so I'm just like up right now.
So you're not even gonna bother.
Yeah. I took a nap like earlier, so I got up around like midnight and like packed up and cleaned the house and everything. So yeah, but so much has been happening recently. What's going on?
I know. I heard about your what is his name? Villeneuve? Not Villeneuve?
Denis Villeneuve. I'm not interviewing Denis Villeneuve, but I'm interviewing one of the executive producers from the upcoming movie.
Oh.
Yeah,
20.
they randomly like messaged me like, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh, Quinn, I don't think it was random.
Probably not.
They're new media savvy, so they're probably like, well, the guy that's getting the most grease on Dune on YouTube, which is the biggest broadcaster essentially on the planet. That's you, my brother.
Heck yeah. Yeah, so I told my audience to ask questions, and like I've already gotten like hundreds, so like gonna have to sift through all those to get like the best ones and to ask this guy. But they want to approve the questions first.
Oh
yeah. So I've got
that makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense. Tiago Cabrita says, waking up to miss Quinn's stream by half an hour, but it seems I will get that redemption.
You are redeemed.
Yeah. Was Dave on there the whole time?
Yeah, most of the time, but I started it off and like just gave like the announcement to everybody and everything.
Right
So,
on.
Yeah.
You must be pretty stoked.
Pretty freaking excited. Yeah. And I'm also just excited to learn more about the movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumors, but nothing like really concrete. And like this will be like really the first like concrete thing, and it's coming from my channel, the original source. That's like awesome.
Right. I know, dude. You're gonna be like the legit Dune channel official.
Seriously,
the
it's
official
without people.
That's right. So yeah, you have to tell that guy. It's like, hey, if anybody else wants to get some press on Dune, on the biggest Dune channel on YouTube,
hit me up.
You're the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hey man, you know what? It's what do they say? Luck is preparation meets opportunity.
Basically, yeah.
Right? You're there, brother.
Yeah.
Right, I'm stoked for you. I hope it blows your channel up 100-fold, and you're like, why would I spend time on Mike Miller's channel? He's only got 6,000 subs.
Well, I enjoy your company, Mike.
Oh, thank you. You plebeians down there in the
You know what I'm really hoping? I'm hoping that I can like get like early access to see the movie. I want to see the movie before everyone else does.
That'd be rad.
Do that.
Well, hey, tell you what, if it's a preview and it's out here in LA, then get me a ticket and I'll drive up and meet you.
Okay, I will do. Depending on where they tell me to go, I'll go anywhere to watch it if I can watch it early. So
rad, dude. That'd be rad. Yeah, so I didn't get near as much done today as I wanted to, but I don't know if you saw it when you were coming in, but I'm doing a cover for MAGAnificent 7, and so it's all getting done with the pencil stage. I'll ink it up tomorrow. But
nice,
fun stuff.
Looking pretty good, dude.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Oh, and I got a message from Dynamite. I got to start the next cover, man. Those things just creep up on me so quick. The Thrones covers.
Yeah. Is it like every month? It's every month, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they'll do them in series of months, and then like the artist isn't fast enough to go monthly, so there will be breaks. But I never know when the breaks are coming, so I have to just. I should have been. You know what? I could have just sat there and done like 10 of them, and oh gosh, I still haven't vouchered for these. It was like the bane of my existence is like asking people for the money they owe me. It's like I hate
our money.
In fact, I have a bunch of checks up here I haven't even cashed because it's like I still have money in my account, so I don't want to like. I know I'm horrible with money, Quinn. It's just
cash the checks.
I know. I know. I will. Soon, at some point. Eventually. Claudia Acosta says, hey, I miss you guys. Good having company while I am converting. Quinn, Mike, what are you converting, Claudia? I am curious now.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Being all mysterious. I am
perhaps she is converting US dollars into Bitcoin.
Maybe. What is the process of converting dollars to Bitcoin?
Oh, you just go get a Coinbase account and you log in with your bank account and your bank. You can purchase. Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's pretty basic stuff. There's actually I watched. You know Stefan Molyneux?
Yes, I know who that is.
Are you a fan of his or no?
I don't really watch him. I know who he is.
He did a why we need Bitcoin like video, and as he was explaining it from a very I don't know, pragmatic I think he's pretty libertarian. I'm not exactly sure. I don't watch a lot of his stuff, but I saw this thing because it was about Bitcoin. I'm like, oh, let me see what Stefan Molyneux has to say. And I was like, you know what? This is a video that Quinn would probably be interested in. So I don't. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. Just
link it to me.
Yeah. But I know I don't want to spend all the time explaining what Bitcoin is. But if you watch that video and it piques your interest, then maybe sometime we can sit down and I'll explain it to you.
Yeah. Bitcoin. Yeah, I've heard Stefan Molyneux's name floating around. I don't really know anything about him. He's
just one of those. I think he's a YouTuber, talking head. He's an atheist. He's a.
That's where I know him from. I think he had a feud with that guy, the Amazing Atheist, back in the day. I think.
Oh, really?
They didn't like each other for some reason. I don't remember why, but yeah, I think that's where I know him from. And he was around in like atheist circles back in the day on YouTube, like 5 years ago.
All right. Tank Fair says hi, Mike, Quinn, and friends. Flux Score condemns me, saying uncashed checks mess up accounting. I know. One of them is like 2 months old. I really should. I know. I suck.
Cash the check.
I'll do it. All right. I'll do it tomorrow, maybe. All I have to. This is the worst part about it. All I have to do is open my Wells Fargo app and take pictures of them.
Oh, really? Dude,
I still haven't done it.
I love that app. I remember like years ago when I used to work at the warehouse, and before I had direct deposit, that's how I cashed my checks.
Yeah.
All the old people thought I was so cool. They're like, "Oh, he's like scanning his check with his phone."
I wish I had that app back when George was sending me personal checks for my royalties.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Then I could have just kept the checks with his signature on them and everything. And dang it. Because I've seen like
so sad,
like canceled checks with like from Marilyn Monroe and stuff, and people they're legit collector's items, right?
I bet, yeah.
Everybody signs check, or everybody used to sign checks all the time, and I probably had 10, 15 of those go through my hands, but I deposited them at the bank, and it's like,
dang it, wasted opportunity.
Oh man. And now they just come from his accounting office. So I'm like, who cares? I don't need that. Matt Costin says people still use checks. Indeed, they do, particularly old people.
Yeah, I haven't actually gotten a check or used a check in a really long time.
At my job, people pay out checks all the time, and they're just maybe like 30, 20. Like,
really?
Yeah.
I just got new checks actually because I ran out of my checks, and I'm like, I don't know. I probably have some rent. I would use checks from like 3 houses ago because it's still the same. Because I use them so rarely. It's like once every few months or something, someone will need something, and it'll need to be a check, and I'll be like, where the hell are my checks?
Quinn, what do you think of the Iowa debacle? What do you think? Haven't we discussed this?
Yeah, we're on to New Hampshire now. And hey, Jan, is that JC from Deus Ex?
Oh God,
Your logo or whatever you call it?
Yeah. I'll do something weird. I gotta wait for this.
I'm waiting for the answer to this question.
Yeah, Bernie won New Hampshire. Like it's said and done.
Casinos still cut account checks on big payouts. Right on. I haven't had one of those big payouts, so I wouldn't know.
I'm not a gambler.
Jan says, LOL. Yeah, it is. I I don't know if you know this, Jan, but I was the original character designer on that game. I worked for Ion Storm back then, and I was the original character designer. When I got laid off, my friend Neil Lamb redesigned most of the stuff that I had designed, but yeah.
Wow. Tiago said I would think Bernie would have had a bigger win in New Hampshire. Well, because like the media spent like all that time acting like Pete Buttigieg won Iowa, it gave him a huge boost in New Hampshire. That's the only reason Pete Buttigieg came in second place.
How do you think? Okay, I think up there, you know this is going to a broker convention, right?
Probably.
Absolutely. But how do you think Bernie's going to do south on the Mason-Dixon line?
The polls are better than you would think.
Really?
Like, yeah, he's a real contender, especially with Biden. Just like
wow, he imploded, didn't he?
Yeah, like really, like he came in 5th place in New Hampshire. Like it's like crazy. He skipped. He went straight to South Carolina when he saw his numbers. He didn't even stop. So it was like, yeah, Biden's pretty much done, and like it's just looking better and better for Bernie because no one else is really even close. Like Buttigieg.
I don't know. I can't remember who it was, but that's been some people's strategy is like not worrying about Iowa and New Hampshire and hitting South Carolina hard.
But looking at the polls in South Carolina, it's not looking good for Biden. He is in free fall.
Yeah.
And you just see Bernie surging. Like it's pretty obvious like that, like he's not really a viable candidate. Nobody wants Biden. And it's interesting because I think a lot of his supporters are like going the Buttigieg way. Some of them are going the Amy Klobuchar way. But like ultimately, neither of those candidates can win. Buttigieg doesn't have the black support. Amy Klobuchar is just like a nothing burger. So as far as like one candidate running away with the nomination is really looking more and more like Bernie is going to run away with it. But we'll see.
We will see. I think that when you start shaking out the also rans and you narrow it down to like 3 people and the spotlight is on those 3 people, then people, I mean, because I don't know Jack all about Klobuchar, right? Like nothing.
There's nothing to know.
She's just a name, right? But if it's her and Sanders and Buttigieg, whatever his name is, then the spotlight will be on them, and then people will start digging in to see who they are, what they believe, where they stand, and whatnot. And then because people who are like, I ain't voting for Bernie or I ain't voting for whatever, it's like they're gonna have to pick between one of the other 2.
If it came down to those 3, what the big thing is where the minority votes go. That is huge in the Democratic Party. And like I said, Pete Buttigieg does not have a good reputation with minorities, even in his own community.
Why is that?
Oh, because he's been there's this viral video like a while ago that came out where like he was like something had happened, like a shooting or something. And like there was like all these black people, he was talking to them in their community. And one of the women said something, I forget what it says, but his response was like, I don't need you to vote for me. That's exactly what it said. And that got spread everywhere. Like him telling this black lady, like that's talking about like violence in their communities, whatever.
I think
one of his constituents being like, I don't need you to vote for me. Like what? Okay, or you're not gonna get the vote then. You're not. Like but yeah, like it's just and he just has a bad reputation.
Yeah.
And then
there's a good question. Did anyone take Biden seriously at all since day one?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. People definitely.
The establishment did. I do enjoy. I am enjoying seeing the establishment candidate just absolutely imploding,
just losing like hard.
Yeah.
Even in states where it looks like he should have it in the bag, he's just like in free fall. It's crazy. Everyone's just like Biden.
I mean, wouldn't it be great if just, I mean, Democrat, Republican, whatever, just for the next few presidents, if the establishment just lost power and control
that would be
over and over again.
The less power they have, the better.
That's right. That's right. Because they're all the same. Democrat, Republican, as long as they're establishment, they're all the freaking same.
Yep. They all serve their masters.
I believe this is true. Seed fan, the only reason Buttigieg and Klobuchar are even being looked at is because Tulsi and Yang were ostracized at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And Yang is dropping out.
Yang dropped out today, right?
Yeah, so we're seeing. So it'll be interesting to see if he endorses Bernie. I think he will. But I wonder if they'll have a meeting and talk about universal basic income, which is Yang's thing. Like, that's his big thing. I don't know if Bernie is going to move on that issue or not.
And Yang loves Bitcoin. That's the that's my one reason I liked him. So, Mr. Yang. Well, it means he's looking forward, and he's looking into technologies in the future, and what where we're gonna be, in 5-10 years.
And he's really
which would be during.
He's the only candidate that's really thinking about that.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, because Biden was still like, "Yeah, go home and play it on your record player."
Say that he's like make sure you play the record player at night. Make sure the kid hear words. Like, what, dude? You're so out of touch.
Yeah, so he's like, you make sure you crank up your phonograph before you get to bed.
Record player, like, Jesus Christ, man. He thinks it's 1975.
I know. Oh man, that's so funny.
Go ahead.
Oh my god, that was such a funny moment. He's had so many just like stumbles like that.
Dude, that's all he's ever been during the entire Obama administration. He was just the gaffe machine. He was just a walking freaking punchline.
I guess no one ever really paid attention to him because he's just like the vice president.
Yeah.
Now that he's trying to run, it's like, wait, this dude is a complete like.
I never understood. I mean, okay, but like years and years and years ago, I actually liked Joe Biden because I didn't know much about him. But whenever I saw him, it just seemed like this likable, affable guy.
Yeah.
Right? Which when he became, or Obama picked him to be vice president, I was kind of like, okay, I can get it. It's just this. Ultimately, he was harmless. He wouldn't hurt the ticket, right? That's what I felt like. Why Obama picked him, but then the spotlight was on him because he was vice president, and he's like, dude, you're one walking dummy.
I think he could have really just kind of like protected like his whole legacy if he just not run for president. Like he could have been the vice president and just been good, but he had to run for president. Yeah. And now everyone is just, you'll be memed until the end of time. You're like the person that the establishment was like, oh yeah, this is definitely the one, and then he comes in 4th and 5th place.
Yeah, and he might have gotten a little bit of a boost if the guy had picked him to be vice president had been endorsing him publicly.
Yeah, like the rumor was in the beginning of Biden's campaign that Obama like had told him not to run. Like Obama was like, Joe, don't run. Like you don't need to do this. But then like Joe just really wanted to run.
It's like, Joe, I picked you because you're harmless. Seriously, just stay out of it.
So I feel like, yeah, of course Obama's not going to endorse him. He didn't want him to do it. He's like,
I mean, it was funny because I know I'm biased about this, but I was paying attention back then. And even Sarah Palin, who I don't personally think is the smartest person off the whatever. But even Sarah Palin mopped him up on the freaking debates. And I'm like, how is this guy?
Make sure the kids hear words.
Oh man. He could be campaigning for someone legitimate. That's right. Well, he will be, I'm sure, after if Biden doesn't pull anything in South Carolina, he's out. There's no way he's going to stay in after that.
I got 500.
Yeah, we'll see.
South Carolina's next week, right?
Yeah, it's coming. It's in a few weeks. It's in like yeah.
Is there anything next week?
I don't know. I think I was just looking in South Carolina. I think on February 29th.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I wonder who Biden would endorse if he dropped out. Probably like he might not endorse anybody out of bitterness, because like I could see him doing that, or like I can't see him endorsing Buttigieg for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like he'd go for like, if anybody, he'd go for like Klobuchar. Yeah.
Kung Flu says Biden is such a creeper. The fact that there's video evidence of him creeping on young girls and there are people just pretend it doesn't
Right.
exist. It's crazy making for anyone with two eyes. I know.
He's such a creep.
It is, and he doesn't even get the whole how creepy it is to talk about kids rubbing the leg hairs in the
Dude, like listening to him tell that story is so cringy because it's like he's so like rambly with it too that it's like, where is the story even going, right? And it's literally a story about like kids rubbing his legs.
I know.
Talking about some guy named Corn Pop or something. I don't know. It's really bizarre. Like,
it's so disturbing. I think if you're running, you wouldn't want Biden to endorse you.
No, exactly right. I feel like anti-endorsement, right? It's an anti-endorsement. Well, he endorsed that person. Let me go with this other person instead.
What if he's just going around? Anybody want my endorsement? No, Joe. It's cool, man. It
was so funny. I was watching the CNN clip, I think it was, and they were interviewing these people about who they voted for in New Hampshire. And there was like this sweet old lady that was like, I voted for Bernie. And they were like, why? And she was like, because you hate on Bernie all the time. And it like her reason for voting for him was because they hated on Bernie. And she's like, it made me really angry. So I voted for him.
That's you know what? My friend, I'm not going to name who it is, but I mean, he's more conservative than I am. He's a black dude. And he told me that that's why he voted for Obama.
Wow.
Because the press or whoever was hating on him. And I'm like, the Republicans hate on the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats hate on the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't something new. This happens every single election season, as long as I've been alive. But he just, I don't know. I think he was just wanted to be part of the history of electing the first black president, which I can understand. I get it, but man, he 100% against everything that guy stood for, and he voted for him. I'm like,
that's weird, man.
Yeah, it is.
I don't get that.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, I've got another group of friends. It's a group, it's a family. They're a group of them. They are my friends, but their entire family, Seventh-day Adventist, hardcore conservative Christian family, votes Democrat across the board because they're black. And they're in Georgia too. And I'm like, because I talked to him, I'm like, and I'm going through, I'm like, you believe this, yeah. You believe this, yeah. You believe this, yeah. Everything is exact opposite of what you're voting for. He's like, yeah, but they're the Democrats. I'm like, but the other guy I'm talking about, he's very, very politically savvy, and he still voted for Obama. And I'm like,
no, that's super weird. At least the old lady was like, she had multiple choices, but they pushed her over the edge with Bernie just because like they were always like,
You never know.
Yeah, that's not. I don't make political decisions based on any of that shit.
Yeah, people vote for. I mean, you heard JJ, right? JJ is clearly ignorant about everything political, right?
Yeah,
but he just hates Donald Trump for some reason, and he liked that. What did he say? He liked that Bernie went on some dude's radio show.
Who? Probably Joe Rogan.
No, it was some rapper.
I guess I wasn't listening at that part.
Oh, okay, yeah, he went on some rapper guy. I can't remember the name of it, but
that Breakfast Club show. Charlemagne the God has a.
Oh, maybe I have no idea. But he's like, yeah, he went on there and he seemed really earnest. Like he didn't use the word earnest, but I'm translating. Like he believed what he was saying, and I'm like, yeah, of course he does. And so that was reason enough for him to be a Bernie supporter.
A lot of people vote like that. Strangely enough, they'll just look at someone and be like, "Oh, they seem like a cool person. I guess I'll vote for them." I was like, "But what are their policies, man? Do you agree?"
Yeah, exactly.
What if like this guy was like a white supremacist?
Yeah, right.
Seems nice.
But he's
I'm
very
going to
affable.
enslave
He's very-
all Native Americans.
He may
and
be
all.
KKK, but he's a very polite young man. Tiago says, I understand why people voted for him instead of the neocon McCain. I know, dude. I voted for McCain because I had to. That was like, that was one of those things where you're just like holding your nose and pulling the lever.
Mm-hmm.
Erasmus,
in those days.
What'd you say?
I said I was too young to vote in those days when Obama first got elected. Just...
Love for God asks, do you like smelling farts? I don't know who they're asking, but
what?
Erasmus Roterodamus says, Quinn's for Bernie. Mike, what do you lean? Dem, rep, any candidate you like? I am a independent. I have been an independent since my first ballot cast for Ross Perot way back in 1980. No, 19.
I'll help you take out this.
Is that 88?
Save the world.
No, it was 92. 92.
2 years before I was born.
2
years before I was born.
Yeah. But if I hate labels, but if you had to try to fit me into a category, I would say I am conservative and with libertarian leanings. And I love Donald Trump because first of all, I'm a troll and I embrace his trollhood. I know that drives some people nuts. It's like, that's not very presidential. I'm like, yeah, that's true. It's not very presidential, but it's funny. But his policies, it's his policies, man. And that was the funny thing is even like going up to the first election, I had all these people on the right who, even some of my closest friends who are just like, they're like, I'll vote for the guy because we don't have any other choice, but he's terrible and he's not going to do all this stuff that he says he's going to do. He's just lying about it. And I'm like, no, he's not lying about it because he's a narcissist, but he's the type of narcissist that believes what he says and really thinks you should believe it too. Right. So whether or not you believe it, I believed what he was saying because I didn't think he was being political about it. I thought he's like, I think this, you should think it too. And that's why I'm saying it. And I kind of get that. And so all these other guys who are like blown away because he's actually doing the stuff that he said he was going to do, like no politician has in my life. Right. I mean, love him or hate him. Quinn, I don't know if you hate the guy or not. I know you're policy wise, you're probably against him in a lot of stuff, but love him or hate him.
I have
dude,
political and moral issues with Trump.
Yeah, dude, there's seriously not been another politician, another president in my life, and I've been voting since Ross Perot, who has just gotten into office and tried to fulfill every promise that he made on the campaign trail. It's like usually they say what they think the voters want to hear in order to get elected, but Trump was like, "Nah, this is what I said. This is what I'm doing," and it's been remarkable to me. Well, for God is adding some very, very strange questions, so I'm going to go ahead.
Clearly a troll.
Yes. Is that Donald Trump?
Most likely.
What ratio is policy versus character? I'll let you go first.
What for me?
Yeah. What ratio when you're casting a ballot for president? What ratio of policy versus character?
100% policy.
100% policy?
Yeah, I mean, if there's two candidates that have the exact same policies, then I would consider personality.
Right.
But to that point, it's all policy. Yeah,
I think that's a good answer. I'm gonna go with Quinn's answer because if it was like, I don't know, if it was because it doesn't work when you're going Democrats versus Republicans, but if it's the primaries and you've got two people and they have the same policy, part of the thing about policy is character. Is the character of the person someone like a Jeb Bush who just say Jeb Bush and Donald Trump had all
I
the
see what you
same.
mean.
Huh?
No, I was just gonna see what you mean.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I was thinking about character in a different way. I thought you meant like character as in the way they present themselves, not in like as they like as in character, as in who they are as a person.
Yeah. Well, I
'Cause they
mean,
can
I
have
think it all
policies,
kind of
they be
plays in
lying.
because if they say they have the same policies, but one of them, like I said, is has borderline narcissistic personality disorder, and he's saying it because he wants he wants you to agree with him, right? Versus someone who just wants you to vote for him, right? Then I would go for the guy who I think is going to follow through, right? Rather than the guy who's just trying to get into office. And I think that's a character difference. But yeah, so I don't know where you'd go on a ratio. Tiago says 70% policy, 20% personality, 10% meme magic. That's a fair break, I suppose.
But for me, I can say like firmly, pretty much, policy definitely does come before anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeb just poked his head out the window and said, "Did somebody just mention me?" Do people still do that? No, Jeb is gone forever now. No, he'll.
I'm voting for Jeb Bush. It's gonna be right in. Jeb Bush. The only vote for Jeb Bush. There was one vote for Jeb Bush.
John Malin says, "Vote Malin, vote twice, vote often."
What's up, John Malin?
What's up, dude? Ross Perot was Trump, but without the personality. That's true. Well, no, I loved Ross Perot.
I wasn't alive when he was running.
No, okay, so he was this billionaire dude who it was great because he looked at the economy and the problems just like a business, right? And he's like he would buy infomercial time on TV, like 30-minute infomercials, and he would sit there with these charts and stuff, and he would explain the economy, and explain what was wrong and how to fix it and all this stuff. And man, I was like, I want that guy running this country. I voted for him twice, man, 92 and 96. And I was just like, man, I finally got my crazy billionaire with Donald Trump, but you know,
now I want my crazy socialist.
No. No, we don't want that. It wasn't Ross's time. Yeah, but that was the thing is because Ross Perot was in there. Okay, here's what happened, because I remember, because I was there and I voted for him. Ross Perot was winning. It was a three-way race between Ross Perot, Bill Clinton, and George Bush Sr., right? He was, if I remember, at 34% or something. And then, you had your libertarians and you had whatever. So he was actually in the lead in a three-way race. And black helicopters, and this, everyone thought he was crazy, right? Black helicopters showed up and threatened his daughter.
Wow.
Right? And he pulled out of the race because they threatened his daughter. And then he's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this. And he got back in the race, but everyone, like the press and everybody, was using the black helicopter incident to call him crazy. So he only ended up pulling, I think, 18%, something like that. But it was enough that Bill Clinton ended up winning, only having gotten 42% of the vote. And so for all these decades, people are just like, well, Ross Perot was obviously crazy because, the black helicopter. But now we see and we know on all the stuff with the deep state and how the CIA and the FBI and people in the deep state have been freaking pulling strings from deep state underneath the facade of the government. Yeah, the CIA is shady as hell, man. So now we know, with the stuff that Trump has gone through, we know that there are people trying to keep the establishment guys in, because Clinton, Bush, those guys were 100% establishment. They were almost interchangeable. And then you got freaking Ross Perot over here wanting to topple the system and just come in from the outside.
Yeah, they don't want anybody that's going to try and come up at the system, man. Don't mess with the status quo. That's rule number one. It's like keep the ones that are in power. They don't want to not be in power, right? They want to stay in power forever. And if stuff changes, like they lose power, they're going to do anything they can to stop that from happening.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat is saying NSA is shadowy, deep state is creepy as hell.
You're probably out there. Let's put these dudes on list. We got them.
Say again. Say again.
To subvert the system. I'm like, they're probably putting us on a list.
Oh yeah.
Subvert the system.
Strike their YouTube channels. They talk about this stuff too much. Hey, you know what, dude? As you know, as crazy as everybody thinks Alex Jones is, they did it to him. They deplatformed that guy.
Yeah,
right? Because he was constantly going, and I don't know what the veracity is of the stuff he says. I heard him on Joe Rogan, and I mean,
I saw bits and pieces of the Joe Rogan interview.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because he seems just like manic and crazy and stuff, but some of the stuff he's saying and like his background and stuff with his father used to work with some of these I can't remember what it was, like CIA or some crap like that, and so he'd hear stuff like just at the dinner table, but the fact that this is a voice that is trying to speak counter intelligence stuff, basically, if you want to boil it down, and they deplatformed him. They made it so he can't make a living. They canceled his like credit cards. They canceled his freaking PayPal and stuff. So the dude can't just make a living with his whatever. If you want to say they're tinfoil hat theories, if they were just tinfoil hat theories, would they have come down on him so hard to shut him up? You know?
Oh.
It's weird.
Well, I don't know anything about Alex Jones. I've never watched him outside of that Joe Rogan thing. And that was just because everyone was like, look at how crazy this is.
He does. He does seem like he's got a couple screws loose. But then I just think about it. It's like, why are they so determined to shut this guy up then?
Don't know.
Right? I think them shutting him up gives what he says more credence than if they'd have just let everybody think he's a tinfoil hat wearing loony.
Yeah, I tend to be against like the whole deplatforming thing. I believe in freedom of speech, and unless you're saying like go bomb somebody, like go set a church on fire, inciting violence, I think like you should be able to say what you want to say pretty much, and then decide whether or not to listen to you. I mean that's the way I see it, but whatever.
That's the way it should be. I agree. Language, gents, is someone's. Did I say something languagey? I didn't, did I?
Language, I didn't say anything.
Oh. We're being good. The Bilderberg stuff he exposed was super weird, though. Yeah, well, I saw stuff, not Alex Jones, on the Bilderberg stuff, and yeah, like all these establishment guys we're talking about, freaking Clinton, Obama, Bush's, blah, 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 all these guys, they've been seen just going to like a secret meeting, like
it's just a fun Satan party, guys. It's fine. Like sometimes like elites get together and sacrifice a child to like an ancient eldritch being. It's fine.
Yeah. That's how they run the government, man. That's the deep state. And
to keep all this in check, they have to make a sacrifice, or else the ancient god Al-Razatap will rise once again to reclaim the earth.
Oh, is somebody cursing in the chat? Yeah, please no cursing in the chat. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. I didn't even check. I don't know if we got any super chats. Probably not. It's not a high super chat channel. So how's I know I haven't been on a lot of your secret streams. I apologize. I haven't been handy and around.
No,
how are they going?
Pretty good. People will manage to find them even though they're hidden. People manage to
And how's the Tadia mailing list going?
Going pretty good. Over 2,000 at this point.
Nice.
Yeah, gaining steadily. Although it has slown pace, but still gaining every day. Gone good.
Nice. You're almost halfway there. Yeah, I'm having to try to figure out ways to get more people to my MAGAnificent 7.
Mm-hmm.
For those new guys here, this is the one of the covers. It's got I'll be inking it tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do it on my art channel or on my regular channel, but cool stuff. Has Donald Trump pointing the way. Charge.
And Donald Trump will lead the way.
And I even gave Rush his Medal of Freedom. So there it is. Fun stuff. Fun stuff, man. It is fun. It is fun. It's a good lark. It's a lark.
Ray Thilo says, dang it, Quinn, go see Color Out of Space. I'll see it eventually, you know.
Go see what?
Color Out of Space. It's in the new Lovecraft adaptation of one of his stories. It's a weird story about this asteroid, this color. There's the only way to describe it, that falls from the sky, from this other place. And it falls by this farmhouse, and like this man comes to investigate it. And it's like corrupting like the land, and it's mutating all these plants. The animals are going insane and dying. The people are going insane. And this weird color from outer space. It's like, I don't know. It's something from some other place that landed here.
Is it's a series or a show, a movie, or what?
It's a movie that they're making based off of that short story.
We have the book. It's right there.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, it's like a 10, 12 page story or something.
Yeah, it's short.
Why is that a book?
It's in the Lovecraft.
Probably a collection of.
Oh, it's in Lovecraft. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a few collections that have that story in it. There's some good ones, man. I want to see like more Lovecraft be adapted. I think they could do like a cool movie on the Call of Cthulhu, but they shouldn't try to make it like anything more than that short story is, because like that little short story is like a little mystery, right? So the way it happens, right? This old man dies mysteriously, and then his nephew comes to like, you know, like kind of like take care of his like stuff in his house and all this stuff. So he goes into his uncle's house, and he finds out his uncle has been researching this like weird cult, and he finds like this little statue of Cthulhu, and he like slowly starts to figure out all this stuff that his uncle has been researching. And it turns out that like there's this cult that goes around and worships this being named Cthulhu, and they're trying to wake it back up. And at one point it did wake up, and there's like evidence of it, and people felt like this psychic like energy thing. But it's really cool. I don't want to like totally spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it's totally scary. It's a nice mystery, and they should do that story, but not try and make it into like some like other thing. They should just do it like it is in the short story. It's one of the best. It's popular for a reason.
Yeah, I'll have to read that, especially if
it's short. It's a short story.
Of course, I have to read your script first.
Yes, you need to.
You know what, Quinn? Why don't you just do a recording of it?
Do you want me to listen? I have this app that can like turn text into an audiobook. If you want it, I could do that, and I could like download that MP3 and send it to you.
Oh yeah, that'd be easy.
Okay, I'll do that.
Much easier. I can work while I'm, because that's the thing is like if I'm reading something, I'm not working, and I'm kind of.
Yeah. I gave it to like my friends like weeks ago, and like one of them just got back to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read The Mound?
What?
Have you read The Mound?
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah. Lovecraft has a lot of interesting ones. Some of them I like more than others.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see like the variance in genre. Some of them are more like fantasy, some of them are more like mystery, and then some of them are like straight up horror.
Yeah, just creepy stuff.
Yeah. Because there's one that I really like, follows this character, John Ralph Carter. It's called The Dream Quest for Unknown Kadath. And it's like this crazy, trippy, like fantasy story about this man that's journeying through like the dream realm. And I wonder to what extent that influenced like Neil Gaiman with his Sandman, because there's a lot like slight similarities, I think. It's like a weird abstract story. And then the end of it, he like outsmarts like the god Nyarlathotep.
Moving. I don't want D&D touching anything but each other.
They do seem like they're in love with each other, don't they?
I never watched any of that. Okay, maybe one or two of those after things, but I don't want to get into that. That's just so much swamp water.
Exactly.
I am, I think, on episode 6 or 7 of Watchmen.
Oh crap!
So right where Night, what's her face? You know what the episode was? Is what is his name? Like Hooded Justice or something?
Hooded Justice.
Yeah, his origin story.
Yeah, that was fucking. Sorry, that was freaking crazy. I wasn't expecting them to like do that, but it was interesting.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
I
Really
thought
good.
that was so good, and the purpose of the hood, and that he's wearing the noose around his neck, and you know how he falls into becoming a hero. Wow, I thought that was just really well done.
It added like meaning to like that character that wasn't there like previously. Like it's one of the best like things where they went back and like added some more depth to it.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Hooded Justice.
Yeah, and then which is of course because they never knew who he was, and so they just turned him into that handsome fellow.
The TV show version.
Handsome white fellow in the TV show version.
Yeah, that was super well done. And there's still like lots of twists and turns to come. Like I was like, even like by like the last episode, I'm just like, they're like still dropping stuff, and I'm just like, wow.
So, are they doing another season?
Nope, this is it apparently. Yeah, what's his name? Lindelof was like, I don't want to do anything else.
I mean, so far, I think it's just so well done, and I understand the people who are like all bent up about woke this, woke that, but I think it's because sometimes you're just looking for boogeymen, right? And it's like, man, this I don't know who wrote this. I don't know what their personal story is or what their personal experience is, but this stuff did happen. And if you're writing a story from the perspective of a person who lived through those events and whose character was shaped by those events, that's a perfectly valid story to tell.
Yeah.
Right?
I definitely agree. And it was really well done. I just felt like I was saying, like it was like respectful to the Alan Moore source material. It was like focusing on the themes that he had like
just don't spoil anything about what's happening to Ozymandias.
Oh, I won't spoil anything. But nobody in the chat spoiled anything either. But yeah. Oh yeah, I love the Ozymandias parts of the show. It's so weird and bizarre and just like, out there. I love it. I love it.
I just got to the part where the sheriff of the planet or whatever knocks him out. So that's as far as I got.
Ozymandias, like that. Such an amazing character.
It's hard to watch it because there's so much vulgarity in it, and my kids are always in the room, so it's like I have to watch it when they're before they get up or whatever.
The Ozymandias guy. What's his name? What's the actor that plays
Jeremy Irons?
Yeah, Jeremy Irons. I love how he just became Ozymandias.
Fantastic
so
performance. Everyone, you know what? Everyone's performance is just perfect. I can't think of anyone. I'm trying to be critical here. I think perhaps maybe the weakest performance is the senator dude.
Oh, the cute guy.
Yeah, the cute guy.
Yeah, he's hot. He takes off all of his clothes later on. But
well, that's because he's got the weakest performance. He's
like, don't pay attention to my crappy acting.
But what's his name? Mirror?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, man, he's such a fantastic actor, man. I've loved him in all the Coen Brothers stuff, but him in this role just gosh dang it, man.
You've seen his backstory, right? Have they shown his backstory? Yeah, that was so cool with like the and stuff. I was like, can't believe they showed the
Looking Glass.
Yeah, dude, it's so awesome.
Yeah, and then the discovery of when he sees the president tape or the Osmandius tape.
Oh yeah, he's just freaking out. It was
So
all.
I'm really in a. I feel like the episode I watched was like the pivot episode where I don't know where it's gonna go, but everything just changed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm looking forward to the rest of it. I'm upset. I'm sad they're not doing another one. Liam Hardy says, I heard the Watchmen series is woke.
Quote unquote woke.
Quote unquote woke. Well, the thing is there's two main characters, Looking Glass and Night Shadow.
What's her name? It's Night something. God, I am blanking. But Regina King's character.
Yeah, and so it's actually more. She's more the main character. And her well, I'm just gonna spoil it for you because spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Her grandfather ends up being essentially the first superhero, and how you get there is through this entire story of Sister Night. How you get there is through the story of him losing his parents during a riot. In the 20s, 30s, 40s, I don't know.
And there's stuff you still haven't seen too, Mike. So there's like some really interesting parallels that they introduce later on that are just like so good. It's just like they know what they're doing with like the writing in this.
Yeah,
so, I'll let you watch that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to answer the it's being woke thing because it's told from the it's the story of the generations of this character who lived through very freaking horrible times for Black people in the South in America, right? And so that telling that story isn't woke. Telling that story is history, right? And so then they did have to deal with freaking some very corrupt. That believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, there was a time in this country when there was institutionalized racism.
I have something to say about this too. Yeah. I'm gonna act like Alan Moore is not woke. We're gonna act like Alan Moore didn't like break his hiatus from voting just to vote for Jeremy Corbyn in the British election. Like you're gonna act like the original Watchmen isn't like this whole like social political commentary critique about all of these things. That's what I don't understand. It's like they're seriously just following in Alan Moore's footsteps. I don't think like Watchmen was like woke and not think the original
Watchmen was one of the most political books ever made.
Yeah. So
comic books.
I don't know why everyone is so like woke this, woke that. Everything's always been woke. Not woke, but everything's always been I'm just saying. I don't see what the difference between this is and what Alan Moore was doing. Like what's the difference?
I think people are just sensitized to it, and they're so looking for the boogeyman now that they can't see. I appreciate it because it's just so damn well done, right? And this is a story that is being told from a character who has gone through this stuff in a history that America has known. Right. And it's not trying to drag America back through its history and dredge up everybody's stuff because the other people have their own histories in the story as well. But just this one character has to experience like the stuff that her grandfather went through. And this is, again, where the moment I am in this story where I don't know where this pivot leads her. Right. But personally, I don't see it as particularly woke. I just think it's a story told from that perspective. And it is I'm not going to discount that perspective. It happened in this country. Right.
Liam Hardy says Alan Moore pretty much hates every adaptation of his work. Yeah. He hates all of it. Yeah. He hates every single adaptation of everything, but he has not commented on this yet. He's probably just not going to watch it because everything anybody's ever made of his work is like kind of sucked. Not all of it, but
Liam says that people have said it's trash, though. Oh, Liam, if you haven't seen it, If you've got an HBO subscription, just watch it and decide for yourself. I mean,
and who are these people too? Like, it's literally acclaimed. It's been critically acclaimed, like not just by critics and audiences. So like, I don't even.
There are people that make a living off of outrage, so they're looking for things to be outraged about. I don't do that on my channel. If I don't like something, I'll tell you why I don't like it, but I'm not looking for things to complain about. Which maybe I'm soft on some stuff, and maybe I'm missing some grand elaborate scheme to brainwash us all, but I'm the furthest thing from brainwashed, so I think I can be fairly, I mean, it even took me a while to hate where they were going in Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
because I wanted to love it, because I was enjoying it. And
the Game of Thrones is an example of when they do really start inserting like ridiculous stuff that makes no sense. Like, Sansa's the smartest woman in the world. Then, like, suddenly that's stuff that I don't like. That's they did create like some Mary Sues and just like had people, but Watchmen didn't do that. Watchmen is a show where people like that script, man. Like, Mike, wait till you finish it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like, the way everything just falls in place in the end, and then it all relates back to what's happened in the comic before. I mean, this show did what like is more respectful to the graphic novel than that movie. The adaptation of the graphic novel. That movie like was ashamed of what Alan Moore did. That movie was ashamed of Alan Moore. Like, it was afraid to even go the places that he went. So like, don't tell me this is disrespectful. No.
Arya Batman Stark.
Exactly. I'm Batman Arya.
Yeah, but it's not like okay. So, for example, something that I did take the time to critique and disassemble essentially was Captain Marvel. Did you see Captain Marvel?
No, I didn't see it. I just had no interest.
It was just so terrible. So terrible. And the hard part about it for me was, all the production quality was there. Right? Because they're putting all this money in, and it's a Marvel film and all this stuff. And, my friend designed the freaking costume, and so I had all this reason to want to like it, but the story was just so bad. And she is such a cardboard cutout of a human being that she just sucked all of the life out of every scene she was in. And I understand. I mean, I've heard people say she was good in that movie she won an Oscar for, but
Room. I watched that, actually. I didn't watch Captain Marvel, but I watched Room recently, and that was pretty good. But
seeing her performance in Captain Marvel, I can't understand how she could act in anything. Honestly, it was. If there's an opposite end of the spectrum from the word charisma, that would be her in that movie.
Charisma.
And what really freaking got me was they took the most, excuse the phraseology, the most badass black dude in the Marvel universe, and they turned him into freaking Step and Fetch It.
Really?
They made him a freaking minstrel sidekick for Captain Marvel. And I was so offended. I hate being offended for other people, but I was offended for the character, because they introduced him as, I'm Nick Fury. I'm a colonel in the military. I'm a veteran of the CIA. And that is why they gave me SHIELD to start. So credential wise, he was already one bad shut your mouth, right? But he literally plays the comedy sidekick to Captain Marvel. And I'm like, he even loses his eye.
Snakes on this plane.
His eye.
A
cat scratches his eye.
That's how he lost his eye?
The alien cat scratched his eye. That's how he lost his eye. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you were freaking. I was so livid by what they did to Nick Fury in that movie. After building up this mythos of him for 10 years, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's like they freaking chopped his manhood off.
Dang, man. Poor Nick Fury.
Right? So, I mean, I try to be fair with stuff. That was so bad. Oh, man. Bree doesn't need personality. She has whammon power. Yeah, that was essentially the movie, yeah.
Tajio says Watchmen doesn't portray white people as villains or anything like that. It doesn't. That is absolutely not what it's about. So like of course, like racism is a part of the story to some degree, but there's a lot. That's just one part of it, though. There's so many other elements to this, and I don't get why people get hung up on one little thing. I don't get.
Well, that's also, I mean, if you want to get into the nitty gritty of it, I think, and I'm prognosticating because I haven't seen the end of it, but the lead, the guy that was hung at the beginning, I'm speculating, and don't tell me if I'm right, that he was one of those cops in the beginning or in the flashback scene that Hooded Justice or whatever his name was beating this tar out of, right? That strung him up. And the fact that over the course of this dude's life, who was a KKK dude, obviously because he had the KKK thing still in his hood, had taken on the black girl practically as family, shows that between 1950 or whatever, 1960 or whatever, and that day, that even that kind of a character who was hip, deep, racist, KKK, all that stuff, could come to a place in his life where he loves this black family like family. I mean, that's not woke. That's not white people are all racist. That's not any of that. I mean, that's character development on a subplot that I think it's phenomenal. I think it's really
art doesn't have to like make you feel comfortable and like cuddle you. Art like is a lot of times supposed to make you think about difficult things. Like Frank Herbert says in Dune, like, I'm gonna rub your faces in things that you would rather not see. He's like, I'm gonna rub your face in it. And I mean, that's what art is sometimes. Art is not always just like, let me turn off my brain and see some pretty colors and hear some pretty sounds, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it is about expanding your mind and expanding your viewpoint of the world and, seeing things in a different way. All right, I read a lot of books, man. And I can tell you, right, I do not always agree with like the philosophy or like whatever the author is trying to say, but I don't like throw the book across the room and be like, this is garbage, I don't want to read this. Because sometimes it's good. Sometimes I don't agree with it, but it's still a great story.
That's right. The thing that matters is quality.
Yep.
Right. If you can tell a story, if you can create characters that agree with them or not, agree with their decisions or not, you care about the characters. That's the duty of a writer. And unfortunately, that's not. A lot of writers are failing in their duty.
No, absolutely. All right, but I gotta go get ready. I gotta leave for the airport in like an hour.
Problem, man. I am on my last sip, which is when the wine down stream winds down is when I finish this up. So, Quinn, have a safe trip. I know you hate flying, so
it's only a 2-hour flight this time. So.
Well, have a great time with Dave and tell him I said hi. And
all right, it's been good, guys.
Thanks for coming on, brother.
Peace, Mike.
Peace out.
You guys want to come down here with me?
Well, that was Quinn. Quinn's heading to Chicago in a couple hours, so hopefully he has a fun trip. He's going to be hanging out with Dave, aka Lucifer Means Lightbringer, another fun, fantastic YouTuber. If you guys want to check that out, please do. Please just give Rogue her. What's this? Please just bring Rogue. Make her touch Bree. I'll give Captain Marvel to the real character, the fabulous Monarch, or a black one. I know. Wouldn't that be great? They're all in the same universe now. but I don't think they would do that just for the story. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna drink this, and I'm gonna bow out. I'm gonna go to bed. Hopefully, get a decent night's sleep and get up at a decent hour tomorrow. I appreciate everybody being here. Hold on, let me do it. Thank you all for being here. Tomorrow morning, cross examinations. Tomorrow during the day, I will be. I probably on this channel, but I might simulcast to Mike Draws Comics. I'll be drawing, or I'll be inking this cover for the MAGAnificent 7. I do not have the link in the description because I'm an idiot. Yeah, please do follow sub to Quinn if you have not already. Bitcoin is at $10,262.52. It's had a heck of a week, heck of a rally. Anything else I'm looking for here? Oh yeah, I was looking for. Oh yeah, this fundraiser copy. I'm gonna paste it here. If you guys want to help a friend of the channel in need for what the heck? What just happened? A friend of the channel in need. Please do click that and go donate a little bit to help Lisa beat breast cancer. Anyways, other than that, thank you all for being here and have a great night. Subscribe if you have not already, and go sign up for the MAGAnificent 7. What is the theme for D&Q tomorrow? Couples, I think. I think we're gonna do couples again. It's Valentine's Day, so let's do it. Good night, God bless, peace out, and see you later.